it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. I have not been on YouTube for absolutely ages. It's been way too long, but I finally have got the bug for YouTube again and I just want to give it a go. So this is a story time and it's my X Factor judges audition story time. My experience and everything that happened on that day and the build up. So a quick disclaimer, I'm not doing this to kind of slate the show or any of the producers or anything, because obviously I still watch it, I think it's great, but we've just got to remember that it is a show, it's for entertainment, so things are going to be staged and not exactly how you picture it. This is the build up. So I got a message on my Facebook music page, which I'll link below, plug, shameless plug. So my music page on Facebook, and it was just a scout for the X Factor, and they said, would you be interested in, sending a video audition? We've seen your music, we like it, and we think you should audition. So obviously, I was like, yeah, why not? I've sent videos in before, but just on the normal X Factor page. And I thought, I'll do it again, there's no harm, nothing to lose. This is very brief, by the way, because I'd rather talk about the judges. So then, a couple of weeks later, I had a phone call and they said, would you come to our London office and audition in front of a couple of producers? So I was like, okay, this is cool. This is not like anything I've done before, because I've never been invited to actually go to London into the office and audition. So I had to travel there. It's about 5 hours on the train to get there. I stayed over the night before and I was so nervous, but you got to this office and it was quite big, and there was probably about 40 people there, so these are the people that have been handpicked to go and audition in front of these producers. We got our little number and everything, and we just had to wait to be called. So little groups at a time would be called into this little corridor to sit outside the audition room for the producers, and you could hear everything that was going on. So that is really nerve-wracking, especially if you've got a soft acoustic voice like me, because I'm not a belter outer, if that's a word. I'm not Beyonce or anything like that. So to hear these people absolutely belting out Beyonce or Christina Aguilera or anything like that, I was like, this is not me. But I just thought, I'm just gonna have to go in and do my best. You've literally got 2 songs to impress them, so it wasn't worth letting your nerves get in the way, but I definitely felt them. So it came to my time in there and I sang No Roots by Alice Merton. That was to a backing track, and then for my guitar song I did Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. So I performed both them songs, and then I had a little chat about myself, and they just asked me what I do job wise, why I wanted to enter, everything like that. I think I was a bit crazy, not crazy but really bubbly and full on, because I was nervous, so I just put all my energy into that. They were just like, thank you, we'll be in touch if we want you, kind of thing. So stage 2, I got a call and it was one of the producers, and they said, we liked you, we want you to audition in front of the judges. Mental. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. So I was so excited, and it was a few weeks later that the audition date was set to be. It was very, very last minute, giving me dates and times, if you know what I mean, because they said this week is going to be the auditions in a few weeks time, and then it was literally the week before that they said, alright, this is your date and this is your time that we need you to be in London again. So booked a hotel, booked my trains, and off to London I went again with my boyfriend Louis this time. First we up to, it was at Wembley Arena. I think on this day I ended up playing in front of about 4,000 people and the X Factor judges, which was mental. The biggest audience I've ever played in front of, definitely. I had to go straight away. It was a little back entrance, and they give you your number and you had to kind of fill out a few forms, give in your CD of your backing track, and then into the holding room you went. So this is where it's totally not like what you see on the telly. So you don't queue outside for hours. I mean, if you are auditioning off your own back, if you're just going to kind of turn up and do it, you will be stood outside for hours. I mean, I can do a separate story time on the other auditions I did in previous years where that was just off my own back. I can do a separate one about that. But this one is specifically where you've been handpicked. So none of us were queuing outside. We were just taken straight to the holding room. And I'd say there was probably 100 or maybe 80 to 100 people auditioning. So we were all in this room. Immediately I saw Bella Penfold. If you watched X Factor last year, you would have seen her. She was fantastic. She was kind of like a singer and rapper with a great cause. She was doing a lot for the LGBT community, so she was fantastic. She was really good. I also saw Molly Scott on this day, and I heard her audition in front of the judges, and she was unreal. She absolutely blew everyone away, like, can confirm that. So this was like really hot, like really hot. It was like in the middle of summer and in this big room with glass windows right along the side, and because we were being pulled here, there and everywhere for this shot or this shot, we were not able to leave. Like, obviously if you wanted a cigarette or you needed fresh air, you could go outside, but it was a case of you need to send the people that you've arrived with if you need to go and get food, water, things like that. I mean, they did have water and stuff, but if you wanted to get snacks and stuff, they should go out because you could be needed at any time. So the little things that we were doing before anything else kicked off was all the filming. So this was the pre-audition filming. So there were 4 particular things that stood out to me, but the most interesting one was definitely the walk up to the arena. I mean, you always see it, and I've always thought in the past, how weird is it that they just randomly pick people walking in and then they end up being on the telly? And it's not like that at all. So they would just pull you out separately and they were like, come on Megan, we're going to go outside with Louis, you can bring Louis, my boyfriend, we're going to film you arriving at the arena. So obviously mic'd up, we had the guitar case and everything. We'd been there for a few hours already, and we just had to like walk down this path probably like 5 times and then down another path because they liked that better, and they were just saying, just talk about your audition, who you want to impress the most, if you're excited, if you're nervous, but don't look at the cameras, just talk to each other, pretend we're not even there. So at this point it was really weird because it was like acting all natural. However, you know, there's cameras on you, you've got a mic pack on. Maybe I'm just a bit naive because I thought it would be a bit more raw, like a bit more, they did film you going in and being all excited, but no, it was like a case of not being natural at all in the end, when it was like your 5th walk down this path and saying how excited you were and stuff. The next thing was the pre-audition chat. You know the bit where it shows you talking just before your audition and there's the blurred people behind you and you're just saying where you're from, your age, what you do, why you wanted to audition. That was boiling because it was like this little walls up beside you, like these pop-up wall things, so it was like a little alcove thing for you to sit in, but then people could see behind you and stuff. But then there was such bright lights, and because like I say, it was already a sunny, hot, middle of summer day, it was boiling with these like bright lights in front of you. And I remember I ended up having a little like white moustache because I had fake tanned, so I'd done my makeup darker obviously. Silly me, I didn't think of packing my makeup to top up. I didn't think I'd be there that long for some reason because I knew we were queuing outside. So anyway, because it was so hot, I kept getting a bit of a sweaty upper lip, so I was like wiping it all the time. And then, because my foundation was darker than my face, obviously I had a little white line above it and there was nothing I could do about it. Very embarrassing. And that chat in that bit probably lasted for about 20 minutes, but of full-on talking, questioning, and it was weird because they would ask you questions, but you couldn't answer the question because they wanted it to look like the chat was all off your own back. So they'd be like, what's your name, what's your age, and why have you auditioned, kind of thing. So you couldn't just be like, because I love singing. It'd be like, I have auditioned today because I love singing. You know, for example, you have to make it into a sentence so they can cut it out so it's just you talking about yourself. So then another thing was just, I think it was for the app, and they were just kind of quick firing questions at you, but the producers behind that, because I think they were like the runners helping out at the actual X Factor day, they were just really chatty and nice. They were trying to create that buzz and wanted you to be excited about it, so it was great. It was fun, and they really did make you feel special because you were being pulled here, pulled there, like come and film this, or come and get this boomerang for our Instagram and stuff like that. It was crazy. So we were in that room for hours, like such a long time. It was so hot, but eventually we got word that the judges were arriving, so this was great, like amazing. I was like, I can't believe we're seeing them in the flesh. And at this point, loads of people were queued up outside, but it wasn't audition hopefuls, it was just the audience for the auditions. So they were kind of waiting to be let in, but obviously they wanted to film the bit where the judges arrive and all the people like, oh my god, like judges, which we all were inside as well. And it was just crazy seeing them in the flesh. So obviously the judges for this year, well, last year when I auditioned, was Simon Cowell, Ida and Robbie Williams and Louis Tomlinson. Yeah, it was crazy because they walked in, and then there was Dermot as well. And it's so cute because Dermot has this little team around him. Like, obviously the judges just came in, kind of waved, and off they went, probably to hair and makeup and stuff. They were already done up, but you know, touch-ups and stuff. But because Dermot was filming a lot more in this audition room where we all were, we could see that he had this hair and makeup team like following him all the time. Like between every little take they'd be like combing a bit of his hair and like spraying, or a bit of like mist on the face, whatever. It was just so funny. He was proper being preened, but he was so cute. It was lovely, and he was just really getting the buzz up. So little did I know that before the actual judges audition, you'd be taken to a room to do another producer's audition. So I remember at this point I've done a video audition, then I went to London to do the producer's audition, then I've got this judge's audition, but I have to do another audition to like see if they think I'm good enough on the day. So I was like really anxious at this point because I thought, I hope I've not just spent all day here and all this time and money travelling to London and staying over twice and train fares and everything for like to be this close to seeing the judges. So I did that audition and they said, yeah, go to the judges. But back we went to the holding room, and a few hours later we were called to backstage. So backstage is where all of the other kind of filming was taking place, and it started to really drain me. We'd been filming all day in the heat, and then it was time to film again, and you'd be kind of filmed walking downstairs and then pacing back and forth behind stage, and I can't believe how much all this was even staged to a T. Like, I thought that would all be quite natural, but they were like, right, your turn, stand up, pace back and forth, just be like looking around, looking really nervous. So this, for an anxious person anyway, like really made things more difficult. I really wanted to just sit there and kind of focus on the song I was going to be doing and like listen to everything that was going on, because literally between you and the judges and the stage of the audience there's like this big curtain that you'd kind of go in and out of when it was your time. But on this side of the curtain where we were, it was all them, you know, like the gig boxes that you'd put equipment in to travel, like the black ones with the silver edges, and you like sit on them. That's where we all were, and we were told to just sit on them, and we'd get a partner to come over and chat to us, like another person that was auditioning. But at this point I had met Bella Penfold, who I mentioned earlier in the video. She was fantastic. She was a lovely girl and really chatty and bubbly, and we stayed in touch since. Not so much now, but we talked on Instagram for a while after it and kind of spoke about our experiences, and I'm really glad she got as far as she did because she was fantastic and she deserved it. Another chat that really stood out to me that I wanted to mention, this girl, like, I really felt annoyed at this point because this poor girl, I think, well, she was a fair bit younger than me, I think, so she was probably a bit more wanting to please the producers and the people that were organising backstage. But this girl had already been on the stage to audition, and she'd had 4 no's. But because before her audition they didn't have time to film, or maybe they did film but they didn't get enough kind of footage that they wanted, they made her sit down again and film as if she was going into the audition. So I was paired with her, and I felt so bad for her because she had to sit there knowing she'd had her audition, they'd said no, and obviously it was embarrassing for her because it's a horrible experience, and she had to sit there talking to me, pretending that she was going on stage in 5 minutes, and whether she was nervous, what she was going to be singing, who she wanted to impress the most. And I just thought this was really harsh. Really harsh, because I know you've already been on and done your thing, but can you just like pretend for now so we can get the footage? And that really did make me think, oh blooming heck, that's a bit much. Like, this is really not as real as I thought it was going to be. So then the time came and it was my turn to go on stage with the judges. So beforehand we had the little chat with Dermot, and I can honestly, hand on heart, say he is fantastic. He is lovely, like so nice. I could have stayed and chatted to him all day. So side of stage, now this is where things got really crazy. It was all mental because I remember walking through the curtains. So here was me on this side with loads of like the runners and the producers, and here was the big stage with the big X Factor thing at the back. There were the judges, like at the front, and all around you could just see all the people that were there ready to watch. So like I said, there was about 4,000 people, and they were like really riled up, like loving it, and it was exciting. But obviously you could hear the person that was on before you, the comments they were getting off the judges. It was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking enough. But then the producers stick a camera right in your face when you've been past the mic and everything, and they're like, could you just act a little bit more nervous, please? And it's like, I'm already nervous enough, like I'm about to sing in front of the biggest crowd I've ever sang in front of, and in front of 4 celebrities and Simon Cowell, which is crazy. I've been watching Simon on the telly since I was like tiny, so I was already nervous enough as it was. I was trying not to draw attention to it because obviously I've been through a lot of anxiety, and I was trying to use the techniques that I have, like breathing, mindfulness, just trying to sort myself out and get in the right zone before going on the stage. But they were like, can you like fiddle with your hands? Can you like look up to the ceiling, and can you like breathe heavy? Just so it really comes across on the camera how nervous you are. And I thought this was bizarre because it was like making you even more nervous than you already were, which was mental. They said, make sure when you go on stage, if they ask you how you are, you do not mention how hot you are, because everyone's hot and the judges are very hot, and I thought they've not even been stuck in this holding room all day, but fair enough. So don't mention how hot you are, and certainly do not mention how tired you are, because we know you've been in this waiting room for hours and hours and hours, but it's television. You need to look fresh, you need to look like you've just rocked up to your audition, been seen straight away, and then you go. So don't mention how tired you are. Then the time came and they were like, right, 3, 2, 1, and you have to just walk up the stage. I was petrified that I was going to fall up the stage because there were like steps onto it, didn't fall. But the embarrassing thing wasn't done there. So I got on the stage, and I can't remember who spoke to me first. Literally, the only way I can describe this experience was like, you know, a dream. Well, perhaps a nightmare when I've told you it all. But like, it did not feel real. It was so surreal. I could just, like, I felt in a bit of a daze. I could see the judges in front of me. The audience were a bit of a blur. Well, I need glasses, so I couldn't like make anyone out anyway. But it was just all a blur. And I was like, this is happening. This is really happening. So I'd planned certain things to say, like about my job and about gigging and doing weddings and stuff. I'd had the chance to mention that a little bit, but then they said, not speaking about music, not speaking about work, what is going to make you stand out? Mind blank. What on earth was I meant to say? Because I thought, well, all I ever talk about is my music and what I do with that, or at the time I was a beauty therapist, well, still am, but moving jobs shortly. But yeah, I thought, I don't know what else to say. So guess what this girl said? I go, well, I'm a crazy cat lady. I'm a crazy cat lady. I said that. I can't believe it. I wasn't even that crazy. I had 3 cats at the time, just 3. And they kind of looked like, what the hell? The audience gave a little bit of a giggle, so that was a bit encouraging. And Ida, Robbie's wife, kind of went, so you're a hoarder then? I was like, not a hoarder, I just like cats. So I chose to sing No Roots to the backing track. The sound system was incredible, obviously, because it was at Wembley Arena, and the music started, and I thought, this is my one chance. So I was kind of walking around the stage, singing it, and I was loving it, and the audience were getting involved. It was brilliant. One kind of set of verses, 2 verses, 1 chorus in. Simon, stop, you know, the dreaded Simon lifting his hand up like, stop, that's enough. That was it. Louis, I can definitely say, barely said anything. I got the impression that he was really sweet, like he just kind of seemed a bit shy. Not even shy, because obviously, well, I know it was his first year on the X Factor, but I felt like he didn't want to upset anyone. I felt like he just kind of agreed with what all the other judges said and was a bit like, yeah, that's what I think too. Robbie and Ida kind of said, we feel like you're a little bit nervous, and maybe you just need to go away and kind of get a bit more practice in and, you know, do a few more gigs. And then Simon, the worst comment of them all, he said, Megan, I won't remember you within the hour. It was heartbreaking, it really was. I felt embarrassed, I felt really hot. You know when you feel tears prickling behind your eyes, it felt like that. So in my head I thought that I would have been like, please let me do one more song, or I literally scuttled off stage like a little mouse and was like, bye. And the audience did boo at Simon's comment, which was nice, but didn't change anything obviously. So all of that, waiting, preparing, and it was over in less than one song. So it's weird because when you come off stage, you almost feel like nobody wants to know you, like these producers and TV runners that are doing it all, they're just not interested. Because before you go on, they're like, come here for this, like film this, do this, and then afterwards it's like, nope. And there was just one cameraman that said, okay, so can we film you like doing your walk off stage all sad, like, you know, walking down the corridor. At this point I've not even had a chance to see Louis, my boyfriend. I just wanted to like talk to him about it, see him, have a bit of a hug, encouragement, but no, whisked off to just do this sad walk down the corridor. So bear in mind all these like feelings, this energy, adrenaline, and for it to just be over, and I've still got all this adrenaline from just coming off stage, and they made me do this walk 3 times, and I did get a bit sassy to be fair, which was probably not good, but I said, do you want me to just cry? Like, should I just cry so then I'll be sad enough so I can just go, because I don't want to film this walk again. Which wasn't me trying to be horrible and sassy, but it was just literally the fact of, can you understand that I'm like a person and this is my dream, and then it's just kind of been shattered just like that. Can I just have a minute with my boyfriend, or just a moment to like gather everything that's just happened? So I ended up doing one more walk and they didn't ask me again. So that was my whole X Factor experience. I don't think the X Factor was for me because I don't have a belt out voice. I wasn't the most confident. I think if I could do it again, I'd go in not as innocent, because I was kind of expecting to go on stage and the judges be nice. Not as in, oh yeah, I'll go in and get 4 yeses, not at all. Not at all, because obviously I came out with 4 no's, because I wasn't ready, wasn't confident enough, but I was expecting them to be a bit more kind, a bit more constructive criticism, and I do know that they see hundreds of people, so they can't invest loads of time, but I think kindness costs nothing and takes no time at all, and luckily I'm in love with doing music and it didn't stop me. I didn't at any point feel like, oh well, if that's what they think of me and if Simon thinks I'm boring, I'm not going to do my music anymore, because I do it because it's a passion of mine and something I love. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, do leave them down below. Until next time, thank you for watching, and thank you for being so patient and staying subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye!